we have the 2-hour price chart for NIO Incorporated, stock ticker NIO. So as we can see here, the stock is making a bit of a bounce here to start the week. This is somewhat of a continuation from what we were seeing previously. If we drill on this price chart a bit, we can see some of the factors that we were talking about in the prior video, and they are starting to come into fruition here and suggest that a base is now forming at these support levels that we've been watching with these videos for quite a while. So in this video, we will be outlining some important price and support and resistance price levels so that we can identify some trading strategies for this stock going forward. Here we can see that the overall this price level that we've been watching coming in at just above $3.60 has ultimately held share prices. So it's really not much of a coincidence that we're seeing a bounce here. This ultimate price low that came in during the August 8 trading session came in at $3.63. The prior price low that we were discussing as a potential downside target came in at $3.61. So essentially what we're talking about here is a bounce that was within 2 cents of the price low. Obviously, it's very difficult to forecast prices with that level of accuracy. It's not something that happens very often. But as we can see here, when we use proper charting techniques, these types of forecasts tend to become much more possible. This does lie in contrast with the rest of the clickbait videos that are typically posted about this stock. People aren't actually doing the real work. They're not actually looking at the price charts themselves. They're just sort of coming up with these weird astronomical figures that have no connection to reality. And suggesting that the stock is just going to rocket higher for no real reason. But as we can see here, if we do proper chart work, we can come within 2 cents of the price low. And this ultimately does allow people to enter into the stock at superior price levels and actually make profits on their positions. So, I understand that this is a stock where many people have lost money. In the comment sections, I've seen many stories about how people were attracted to this stock in the first place. There were many YouTubers that were telling people to buy the stock at the IPO. And the stock did really nothing but collapse after that. So, there are many horror stories with this stock, and there are many people that are currently underwater with their positions. Many positions out there are losing money. I would say that most positions that are in the stock are currently losing money. I've heard some really sad stories in the comments section about how people, just continue to make losses with this stock. But if we use proper charting techniques here, we are able to identify some important price lows to sort of rescale into these positions and allow us to actually profit from these trades. So as things currently stand, this price low at 363 now roughly marks a double bottom. So if we look back on the chart here a bit, we can see this prior price low came in during the April 22 trading session. And if we compare these two areas now, current price levels to this mid-April trading period, we can see that this now does mark a double bottom for the stock. In addition to that, we have crossed through the middle of the exponential moving average cluster. And as we can see here, the shorter term moving averages are now starting to move above the longer term moving averages. We have not yet seen a clear break yet. We have not yet seen a completion of that type of event. So essentially what I'm saying here is the 20 period exponential moving average, which is the yellow line here, is starting to look as though it wants to cross above this 50 period EMA, which is the orange line here. So we haven't quite seen that cross yet, but this is positive because we're finally now starting to see the shorter term EMAs turn around in their direction. For the most part, you can still look at the 200 period EMA, 100 and 50. The 50 is starting to turn around a bit. These are starting to sort of flatline a bit here, but the overall trajectory, as you can see, is still focused in the downward direction. The 20 period EMA is going to be the first indication that trend might be starting to turn. So, if we do see a moving average cross here, that would suggest that the 50-day EMA, the 50 period EMA would follow. And then we might start to see similar activity in the 100 and 200 period EMAs as well. So as things currently stand, the stock is running into a bit of resistance here right at the 100 period EMA, which is this descending purple line here. But we do have a gap higher here. And this does suggest that markets have found a near-term bottom here coming in at just above $3.60. One thing that I would point to here on the downside would be the fact that the stock is essentially moving into overbought territory. We're not currently there at the moment. Currently, we're trading, let's try to get an exact number here, roughly 68.6 in the relative strength index. So we're not quite overbought, but we're very close to that territory. And then in addition to that, if you sort of pull out a bit on this chart, we do have this major dominant price pattern that we have been watching here, which is it's kind of an ugly descending triangle pattern. And once again, we're starting to come into contact with this downward trend line. So again, we're not quite there yet, but we're very close. So if we do see a break above this 100 period EMA, more than likely, I think that we would probably see a break through this downtrend line as well. But the real question then is going to be whether or not we can convincingly break above this 200 period EMA. If we can do all of that, we might actually be able to finally draw this price chart, or at least this price pattern on this chart, to its conclusion and start to look at other technical frameworks that are currently governing prices. As things currently stand, we can't exactly do that just yet. We do need to see a convincing break here, given the fact that we've seen so many false breakouts previously. Anybody that's been watching my videos is likely well aware of the fact that we've been outlining some of these false breakouts that have occurred. Here we can see one coming back at roughly the middle of July. We really saw this happen on two separate occasions. We saw a third test here coming in during July 22nd trading period, and then a final false breakout to the top side coming in during the July 31 trading session. So, there's been a lot of pressure placed on the top side of this formation. It is surprising that it hasn't broken just yet because there's been so much pressure placed on the top side. So, what we're looking at here is a very significant near-term price movement that could have a very big impact on whether or not the stock is able to rally higher from here. So, as we can see, we have not yet broken above this 100 period EMA. That is going to be critical. You could start to see prices fail here. It wouldn't be impossible, especially given the fact that the relative strength index reading is essentially trading in overbought territory. We're not technically at 70, but we're very close to there. We're less than 2 points away from there. So, you do have a few different technical factors here suggesting that we could start to see resistance here. So if we were able to see prices break above these areas, that would be a fairly significant bullish event. And it would suggest that, perhaps finally we can call an end to this descending triangle pattern. So here's the current market update for NIO Incorporated, stock ticker NIO. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.